Good evening, folks. It's 9:51 p.m. on the 8th month, 24th day, 2025. Right, what we're looking at here is part of the beaming episode that's it's underway currently aimed at the North Pole. And this is going to have a great effect on the weather. So I'm going to go over this a little bit now. So we'll find Mr. Squiggles here, and here he comes out very nicely. Yeah, it's in a little tuck-in spot where it charges. So I'm going to go over this beam a little bit. I haven't been able to determine which device has fully done this, but I have some suspicions. Some of the triangulations is pointing at something up here in Reykjavik, and that there's a ship out here as well. So we'll have a quick look at this, but I want to show you what the dynamics of such a beam is going to do. It'll help you maybe to understand a little bit about flow and things. So let's see, what color will we pick here? How about white? Okay, so you got a main beam here, right? Very often these striations here, like that, will tell you how many antenna masts are involved in an array, right? Super Darn showed me this many years ago. If Scalar's holding this is the remnants of that hurricane, Aaron. And Aaron is right across from the Aaron O'Brien people over here. And this thing has nowhere it can go. This area is fairly shut to this storm. There's no way this thing can freely travel up here. So it's going to stall. You'll watch its moisture get stripped away. Some of it's going to be sent up towards Scotland. The main body of this is then coming across here. And air coming down here with the dynamics of this here that's coming down here is going to descend on this area here above Italy. Let me make this a little more exact. Right through in here, there's going to be a big swath of flooding. Right through here. It has to happen. And this is the setup for it. Even already you can see the steps. The step moves that I've taught you people. Now we got a lot of radars here that are right. Like Aberdeen. That's frying. I could look across the country here to see. Aberforth, Wales has fired about a day ago. A big pulse wave here coming up the coast of Ireland. So this has been a rather large frying event. I could show you to this whole thing, and this kind of shows you the polar region pretty well. And the East European, Russian side of things. Wham, wham. Up over the pole comes the beam. The only passage is through here, right down this gradient here. You see? Boom, boom. That's space fence. You have a lot of devices that made sure the only path that's open for this is through here. So all the flow's been set up. I'll go catch you some of those earlier blasts so you can get a good look. Seeing may be believing to some people. I don't know. I find a lot of devices. I look at what they do. It's coming from somewhere up in the polar region. There's a base or something right there. You see where everything changes, the dynamics. So something's fired down. This pole is shut for all flow. See all the triangulations here? So I see you got a ship here. It came down. Hopefully you can see this little cursor thing that my finger is selecting shows. I don't know if it shows up on the thing or not. I should look and see. Well, the cursor will. This is what came up over the pole. See here how it goes that way and that way? So if I zoom this down, I can mark this up pretty well. Okay, so let's do that. And do some triangulations, and I'll show you the Oz weather. The Blue Mountains and some of the Alps are about to have quite some rain action coming, and some snow. So you're going to want to know about that. So if I look up here in the Arctic, you see a conicity showing up in that area there. It's a bit wide. Take it a little thinner. We won't show it all then. You got one there. I come down here. You see the conicity here? So that's telling me there's a device there. Just not an island or anything. So that's a frying as well. You can see it. just plain as day. We know there's a big beam shutting this down. Comes up in about a frame or two after this. If it was a solar mass ejection, it would just pass the planet very fast. It would not cause hours-long perturbations of the condensates or condensatable things. Beam here, the pulse is pushed in that direction. I'm just mapping out where the corridors of flow are. Yeah. Steps say it. It's getting copping it there. Here's your steps. You look for that move. Something over the years I've noticed. Okay, so this is a serious of geoengineering move and it's been done with Hurricane Aaron. You know, let's let this run one more time. You've had a major frying event in Oz. Newcastle's fired, Alice is fired. Two big devices. That Polish shit is coming to visit you, Italy. So I'm going to get rid of a few of these. So you've seen that one. You don't need to see that one. This is the beam that's affected you guys. I'm going to run this through for you. Then I'm going to click this off and just be quiet. Now, the thing I noticed about yours is these angles of some of these beams are pointing at making a conicity. You see, this one came at an angle and that one came at an angle, all pointing at Alice Springs. A beam pops off the coast pointing right at that Newcastle device that I'm told does not exist. Yeah, a nice try going on to and marking a pin on the map for the world to see. Yeah, well done, Get Back Jojo. The gatekeeper of Newcastle, New South Wales. Unforgiven. I don't forgive altering data. Shame on you. So you got a lot of stuff is pointing again at EMF that's about to pin your flow. I'm in these mountains here. So let's run through a bit of that. I get to the last mimic frame. Pretty much shows it all. Yeah, right about there. It should do it. There we go. Okay, your main flows that are pinning you guys are here. I'm going to back up just a hair. There we go. That's a nice beam shot for you. I want the square. A really good scalar square showed up mid-coast area. Pointing right at you, Newcastle. Right at your ass at 11 o'clock at night, my time last night. And when people were telling me this device doesn't exist here, it clearly is pointing at it. Yep. Yeah, they got a lot of new stuff out there too. They can put on a truck. This is old school. I imagine they can start dismantling some of this tech. And I just dropped my squiggles. Here we go. Now you see that one, right? You see this one here coming right to Alice and that scalar square and all. So that's fired for sure. Ain't a doubt about it. And this one here is nearly triangulated. Let's see, where else did it fire? Fired here, fired that up, fired that out, and it's pointing right at your big Jordan ass right over there. Yeah, and it's done quite a move. So you've got heat here. It's pretty much cut that off. So enjoy the sunny days that you get, or the chem that they're going to give to you until the weekend. Now, if you look inside here, you see you got an X-rad that's been pulsing. It's been doing one of those circle things. So that's shut. Goodbye. Anything coming in here can't get any further up than that. That's obvious. You got a radar on right in that area as well. And it's fired data crush again. That's going to start to shave some of that moisture, and it won't go any further than that. It'll tend to hug the coast a bit more because you got the mountains there as well that I know about. So natural effects of flow come into play. If I could zoom in here, I see you got another radar here. It's only half on. It's making like that. So some of the flow can come up around it, and some will go that direction here. Because if it's heated, it's rotating that direction here. Okay? That looked like a dick. So we'll take that off. It's rotating counterclockwise. Okay? So we know that that's going to take air from here and bring it in. So we know the dynamics are really pinned in toward these mountains that have been created by these big beams that show all the time, and I've learned to read them through the years. So we'll go to your eyes forecast first, and I'll go on and give you Italy. Or should we get Italy out of the way? Italy, you're fucked. Just like I said the other day, the Shroud of Turin, all these rivers running right to your town. You guys gonna have some big problems. You're gonna have some problem in Asti. Gonna be some spumante flowing down here in Alessandria. Yeah, it's not good. It's definitely gonna be aqua time and aqua termi over there. Panzone, fucked up over there for you, my paisans over there. Yeah, this is bad. Yeah, it's going to be the Facima Lumats, yeah, for everybody. And the Alps are copping it. So you guys got plenty of warning. This is going to start overnight hours on Wednesday, 1, 2 in the morning. So don't be caught out on the roads wanting to take the drive across that part of Europe during those days. And it's going to go through the entire weekend, this one here. Coming overnight hours this Sunday through Saturday morning. You should see it tapering off a bit. But it's going to get bad. You see the lightning and all that's going to kick off. So I'm just going to go to the Suerte de Muerte for you there with the moment of truth. As we can get your forecast going. Because we matter too. It might bring the UK down. We do have a few rains coming in for us. It's nothing super duper though, right? It look like the Shannon's going to have a bit of action coming there on Tuesday. See all the lightning kicking off? It's a lot of sand came up from the sand pit in Libya and Tunis that hit that part of the Mediterranean to bring some of the silicas up. That's going to add to the piezo properties of making statics, positive, negative charges. They'll release some very major lightning. And it's going to be a nasty, nasty storms. I would not be surprised to see some tornadic activity. I know it's very unusual to see tornadoes in Italy, but the conditions are perfect for it right now. I have to say it, so I would be doing you an injustice. Then it just fucks right on off. And while that's going on, I got to go over here now again and give you guys yours. Hi. I think we did a double shot. Yes, I was a little bit kinder to myself. So I'm going to turn that one off as I undo some bandwidth. My flows are better. Right. This will be Tuesday at around 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, Australia time. Is when this event's going to start. And this goes right into the early morning hours of Saturday, right around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. You're going to see some pretty heavy snowfalls in some areas as well. It's not going to be just a rain event. But you're going to pick up a good amount in the CBD, the south of the center, the wine region. It might catch a little bit of a break this time, but not like last time. Oh, would I numbnut myself? That's okay. It's still loaded. It'll still be on here. So let's run your forecast. And I'm going to go with ECMW. I'm going to talk over it a bit, like I usually do. And hopefully I got everything in the kind of units you expect from me. This one's matching fairly close. I'm going to need to get New Zealand on the screen for this. And the tropics, as this is going to have an effect on Fiji. Unless Fiji fires a big beam, they're going to get some rain. Right, so here it comes from Seduna into Radelaide. I'm in over towards, might even get some rains up toward Broken Hill. It's going to have a hard time for getting past that beam line, like I showed you that's up there. So you'll watch how that pressure line just stalls all along this area through here. It's because of the EMF that Alice in Newcastle set off. And in combination with whatever radar that was, it's in a position for it to be Mari. If I remember right, well, some big winds hit the South Island of New Zealand there coming there on Wednesday afternoon into the overnight hours. And then you're going to get a bit of a smacker. I'm going to move it right along, right up the West Lands. And, the Kiwi beat gets a little batch, having a little bit of rain and wind coming, cramming right on into Nelson in that area again. See where the budding up bit right here? So you're going to have a couple hours of some really bad weather going through the Cook Strait there during the afternoon, evening hours of Thursday and coming into Friday. Okay, so you ready for that? And bringing behind it a bit of winter action. is the temperature is gonna drop quite a bit, but it's gonna be nothing like what you've experienced here about a month ago, right? The wind is not a hugest factor for most of the country, but Cooks is gonna cap it. Yeah, this is no joke. You want to get out there and head. No, you don't. No, you don't. But as we get a little closer into your event, I imagine I'll cover it. Yeah. Yeah, these beams, I'm so tired of seeing them manipulate the weather all the time. It really gets old. So back to the rain and the thunders and the rumbles. I'm only going to take you about halfway through the week. There's your big batch. See, I moved it to where you can see yourselves. See it, see it, see it, see it, say it, say it, say it. My God, we thought it was just a hazed out day today, but really we had so much chem over us. I'm surprised I could breathe a lick it off. See the snow coming there? And this is a big concern for your travels up through this area. So I warned you about this last week. And so it looks like it's coming to fruition. So we should be able to nail some of these totals down. And some good fresh powder though for some of the people that love to ski. Right, even just during that one period there's some really heavy falls of snow there north of Canberra. I mean south of you, excuse me. Everything's backwards in your hemisphere. Here we go here. That's from about midday. Well, this here would be 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Dinner time on Friday until, let's say, midnight Friday. You're picking up quite some centimeters. I like inches on snow. Yeah, so let's do it in that. It just sounds so much more fun. Yeah, that's we get, centimeters. Okay, well, it's staying there. 20 centimeters, that's a lot. You're going to definitely need a shovel and a broom to get that off the roof. And as you take it through the weekend, I'm going to bring it back a bit. These totals ain't high enough. Yeah, 30 to 40 centimeters up on these big peaks is going to happen. Yeah, look at the temperatures, -2. Yeah, there's nothing you want to experience, is it? And so it's a quick moving event, but the rain is a concern. It is. It's an absolute concern. The accumulations during this time period where it isn't going to snow. Could it be melting snow? That's a couple inches of rain. It's not enough. You're going to get more than that. So let me do some of the stat changes again. Cool. Yeah, it's going to run quick. So during this event, should be starting about here, and it's going to go to about here, and it's going to dump about that. So your big rains are coming. 10 centimeters all through a swath through here to be expected. You hear me use those words, expected. 6 to 7 centimeters to be expected in this area here, north side of the city, as it rides along that beam line in the mountains and heads its way up and through the passes and such like that. Perth, you has a bit of action coming too. Right? Adelaide, you're the one that gets the biggest totals of the big cities, I think. So be ready. You know, this is where you got a day or so. Make sure you got your ass wiped. Yep. And yours starts, should be on Tuesday, overnight hours at Wednesday. Right? Is when so a lot of this is, if you don't get your shit done tomorrow, it's just not going to get done. And if you were here, you wouldn't get nothing done because it's a bank holiday and everything's fucking shut. Perth, there's a bit of action still to come over the next 24 hours. Then you're getting to get a bit of a break. You've already had quite some decent totals happening. Right, so you got about another 3 centimeters to go. I didn't say what it said. I said what I said. Yeah, sad view wise, you really bad came. And this was about 4 hours ago. And this is the latest image I have because I'm not reloading all this. This is very noticeable off your coast here, wouldn't you say? Big straight line merges that in. Where can that go? It stalls. There's nowhere for it to go. So this is just going to keep pumping up those cold dynamic airs from out of Antarctica and mixing it with this tropical crap, which still can make some storms volatile pop up on the coastline of Australia at fairly any time. But the setup for clear skies tonight is very much there. You might even see some meteorites tonight. There'll be some tail ends from the Perseids still out there showing up. But all in all, notice how they spin fairly in unison, thousands of miles apart. It's because geoengineering does it. Dual vortex, 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 vortex on this side. It's just a typical geoengineering move. Shut that one off, and this just goes over. Put a beam through that, and this just is now the new low to come in. And the storm didn't even go down. They just stopped it. And while they stop it, these dynamics come up here, and that's why you're having that action through Perth today. Is all this chemicals over here doing your bits. Yeah, you can see it's chemicals. That's you see the shape of that. That ain't a round supercell. Look like old Duckfoot sitting down there. Quack, 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 motherfucker. And Daffy Duck has says that this is despicable. Absolutely despicable. Hey, bomb here too. Look, boom, 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 plume over there. Why do you see I show you Europe? My God, we got sprayed so bad over here today. My nose will be clogged next week. All the cam here button up on the mountains in Tassie, running up on that beam line. Beam line that keeps going right all the way up through here. So Cook Strait is shut. That's EMF doing that. New Zealand, hi. Big old fart down south down here. See this big shardy things? How many directions of the wind? This one's going that way. That one's going that way. Yeah, this is the cuckoo's nest over here. And if you go to the main part of your country over here, you've been choked out. Look at all that. Pointing at one dot over here. These are not naturally occurring cloud formations, New Zealand. Was that a pretzel in the sky down there? Yeah. Face it. There's a whole lot of stuff television ain't telling you. There's a whole lot of official state excuses for state agendas to march on. And where the state agenda of toxicity to move you into the cities is there. Toxicity to move you in a hospital ward. And you ever hear of a curing ward in a hospital? Do they practice on you? Does that mean they don't know what they're doing? But we are required to listen to them. Look at all the scalar squares here. These are smalls. It'll be a next red fire deuce. Look, right here. Look at it. Scalar square. 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 Why did it do that? So it's just firing a bunch of squares has made a perturbation line there, right? Things running into this. Well, if you look at the gaps, it's kind of like a strainer. You get a little bit gets through here, a little bit gets through here, a little bit gets through here. It runs into a gap, might vault some of the air up or down, depending upon what type of beam deployment, which I can't tell from this particular image what that is. Lots of vapors of magnetic particulates or chemicals that are very conducive to EMF waveform moving through them, or changing the medium as it's known. You got a device there. You got a device here. I see you. You're hiding from me. Yeah, they always leave a signature, EMF. Something's emanating from here. Bomb field. Chemical bombs, man. Chemical bombs. Chemical bombs in our sky. So I showed you tolls. I showed you what to expect, didn't I? Okay, so that's done. Yeah, I don't like to show you this. Yeah, but somebody has to. Your move can ring. You gonna fizzle this forecast? You gonna show people? You gonna show them, or should I? I just did. So no, it's coming, right? We got problems on the horizons here. Big totals showing for New Zealand, and I don't think they're telling the truth about this area. So we will update this as we get closer to the event. But yeah, I just get tired of having to show you this. So yeah, you about to get fucked again, right? Here's one event. Nothing. So coming in the evening hours, dinner time, evening meal time Thursday, you're gonna get fucked. It's just not cool at all. So we'll let you know more about that as the event comes on, okay? Okay, so get ready up here in the Alps. You got some days over there in New Zealand. Tassie, you're going to get the wets too, but you guys never stop in the wintertime on your western shore. It'd be a place I'd never want to go, almost in the winter time, because it's always wet, moist, or just absolutely windy. Yeah, very inclement. So that's what I wanted to show you about that. So I'm going to have you give you a quick one of these asshole worldviews. So have a look at over here at Cardigan Bay. My God, they covered the whole world in a cardi, didn't they? How is heat escaping to space at night with all this man-made cloud coverage? It's counterintuitive. They told us we can't like St. George's Cross, but they put it in the sky. And well, these are chemtrails. Chemtrails over the Irish Sea. They're wicking high over Wicklow. That was nasty. Look at the EMF here. Bzzz, getting fried, getting fried. English style. And look at the different colors refracting from these ice crystals. They have different chemical properties and are absorbing wavelengths of light, except the colors that you're seeing. And it's like purple. It's very barium looking, I must say, as far as chemicals go. And made in clouds. Yeah, I do my own homework. The Isle of Wight, you could see it. But look at all the chemtrails here. Chemtrail, like how many directions of the wind are blowing as we go over here toward France. X marks the spot over there. Chemtrail, big crap line going over Europe. And as we look towards Italy, you start to see some of the pre-deployments. There's some of the chemicals. Some of this is going to be snow in the high mountains. So I'll have to go with a live image when we get closer to the day. You see some of the sand here? It's starting to leave one of the great sand pits out here, and another one was over here. You even see some of the sand in the cloud here. It's what made it look golden, like the Sahara Desert. If this is one of the driest places on Earth, why is suddenly all these clouds out here? Well, man is making them, right? You think that's just EMF? I want to show this to somebody in the UK who is very curious. Said, but it's just EMF making those clouds, Robert. I said, well, I'll show you something. If I look in on these clouds, you'll see the formations. I'm looking for a good bank of EMF here. I saw. How about this one over Bournemouth here? If we zoom in on these, you'll see the cluster formations like that, pointing, bomb, 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 bomb. See the square there in the center with the dot, a dot with a square around it here. Chemical catalysts. See the formation here as well. It's pretty obvious. How about this one? Dot, streamer enough. See that there? Inside these big banks of EMF, you always find the chemical formations. Like even out here, I'll find them. As I look, square next to that round with the center with the lines in it. These ain't round supercells. These are chemicals. See the wedgie with the center point in it? Something's up there doing that. And you don't tell me it can't be done because I'm showing you it being done. They have trillions of dollars to spend. Yeah, these people are just ruthless that are doing this. They're ruthless. They let us walk around toothless and tell us to eat healthy. Look at the color of that. It's very sulfur looking. Not the same as that one that I showed you over the English channel. Right? There's an EMF pulse wave here. You see just one of the peaks of the sine wave on that one. But if you zoom in, you'll see that formation. You see the deployment. You gotta have a particle to turn into a cloud, right? A water droplet has to condensate on something, and they deploy stuff in the sky. The dust particle is preformed nanoparticles. It's governed, you know. The CIGI 111 geoengineering governance document shows these type things. I'll give you a copy of this if it's still running. I have no idea. It doesn't say it in live video. That's always a good sign. So here's a copy of this, and I want you to go over it. You know, when I tell you that it's preformed particles, and I call them chemicals, all I gotta do is go down there to page 13. You know, I'm going right to it. Meat and potatoes time. Aerosol injection of sulfur. I don't see silver iodide listed like they always say in the news. And it tells you potential delivery vehicles for stratospheric sulfur dioxide injection include aircraft, artillery shell, stratospheric balloons, and hoses suspended from towers rather than hosers suspended from trees. Yeah, I went there. Now, if I look at this written testimony by Philip Rash to the U.S. House Committee on Science and Technology, and the meeting actually happened in December before the Christmas break in 2009, and they published this February 4, 2010. You'll see here the suggestions of injecting preformed particles, right? This is what I call them chemtrails, of other chemicals. And what's the chemical being suggested here? It's something that in the presence of water in high concentrations can be highly carcinogenic. And on hazmat sheets say this. And it says titanium oxide. It doesn't say silver iodide anywhere. It's always talking about sulfurs, which make acid rain. Silver iodide, which it sounds all good and all, but it's not what I see. I'm seeing deployments of stuff that's 60,000 feet when I'm in a plane at 40,000 feet. You ain't telling me a jet plane did that one. These are the high altitude balloons, as suggested here in this first paragraph, last sentence of the Paris Agreement here. This is a very, very bad suggestion to do for fighting global warming. When you're using microwaves to heat the world, you can't tell me that the microwaves, like I've been showing you, them beams, ain't adding to heat. Or that putting a blanket of clouds over the earth is allowing heat to go into space. Or that a molecule of carbon dioxide even holds heat for more than it's not even a whole second. Do you know that? Not even an entire second. Yep. So, boy, you people trust what you watch on TV too much. And this is why I say call them chemtrails. And this is the balloon method or drone aircraft method doing this. And so these are different colored chemicals than what I showed there. The United States had some fair deployments over Idaho, Montana, the big sky country. These are not all fires. There's a few fires about, but these are not them. And again, you zoom in, you see the coma like you would see on a comet, and the trailing off into the wind of whatever it's effervescing, vaporing, or trailing chemicals into our skies of the United States. Beautiful beaver head deer lodge. That'll make the beaver hair fall out. Yeah, this is just such a crime to have to see all the time. It's very depressing to me to see these chemtrails in the United States, which some people claim have been ended, and they have not. Though I will say I noticed less than I'd seen in the past, but you can't say that even one is acceptable anymore. Is the Shriner's Peak? Yeah. Well, there you go, Shriners. What do you think about that? They're giving you a shiner. The American Ridge. Oh, we're really, so imagine that. Well, they poison in the American Ridge. They're poisoning the Gulf of Mexico over here. I'll call it what I want. What's in a name when the rose stinks? Either way. Yeah, these ain't naturally occurring cloud formations here. These are chemical catalysts over a beautiful body of water. Colors I would associate with a wildfire or sulfur out here in the Gulf. Yep, it's an absolute crime scene, the EMF. Yep, Jacksonville. There's too many. Let me turn some of this off. There you go. So you can see the clusters. You can see the formations themselves when you look at them. You go, my God. And it isn't just EMF microwave popcorns. We've been carpet bombed, and the microwaves are required to nucleate the condensates or vibrate the dust particle enough so it gets warm enough to condensate a droplet of water on itself. And if the droplets are small, they'll never fall out onto the ground. They don't make it. Look at the color of this here off the coast of Florida. Yeah. Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach, all here. Right, this is the Space Coast right here. There's Titusville, Cape Canaveral right here. Houston, we got a fucking problem. Or maybe Houston is the problem. All I know is I look at my Earth today, and I just want to cry. Right turn Clyde here, dip down from EMF, poles shut off. This is coming over here. Is going to wet down the town of Torrance itself. The Shroud of Torrance is going to be in the news, and let's hope they can keep it safe. There's going to be a flood in their town. And as I zoom in on Australia, this is your yesterday's image. I go out in the Tasman Sea, and all I see is doo-doo clouds. Doo-doo weather. And we're either going to acknowledge the problem, face it head on, or we're not. But if we want to kill ourselves, we should. Take that vaccine and check out. But why are we doing something going to take all life on this planet with it, just so some 1% of 1% can keep all the change? And when the men in high castles are poisoning our asses, non-compliance has got to become the norm. Big love, stay safe. Peace.